Hello everyone, my name is Owen Murphy, co-founder of the Sales Circle, and today we have a very special student on here with us, Mr. Dara Byrne, who is coming on to talk about his journey from transitioning, coming straight out of college and breaking into tech sales. And Dara is just one of the 300 plus people we've helped now break into tech sales, coming variety of backgrounds, whether it's straight out of college or it's construction or it's finance or maybe another type of sales role, and breaking into the industry that is tech sales, where year one they're earning between 65 to 85k on average, and then pushing on to six figures within 2 years and multiple six figures in the years to come. So without further ado, I suppose, Dara, to kick things off, just to give people a bit of an understanding, take me back. So as well, first of all, actually, who are you, where are you from, and I suppose, what company are you working in now?
Yeah, so my name's obviously Dara and I'm from Roscommon, and last week I started with Diligent in Galway.
Very, very good. And I suppose, take me back to the start, and like what actually, I suppose, prompted you in terms of thinking that, you were still in college, obviously, when you reached out to us. Like, what prompted that, like maybe tech sales was the kind of route you were thinking you wanted to go down?
Yeah, so I was in final year of marketing and sales anyway, so it wasn't too dissimilar the path, but we actually had a BDO from Diligent come into college and do a talk with us, and I was always looking at tech sales, but I asked him straight away. I said, what can I do here to get ahead of everyone around me? Because I was thinking, come May, there's 40 people in this class. What is the difference between me and the rest of them? And Matthew actually did the sales circle, so it was the first thing he said. He was like, if you really do want to get ahead and you're ready to invest, Owen Murphy is the man, and the sales circle is the best place to do it. So that was sort of concrete evidence for me that it was worth doing, because I know him personally and he's obviously in the role that I wanted to go into. So I did a bit of research. I was still small bit skeptical. So I was there cross checking reviews and looking up on LinkedIn, seeing what their experience was and where they were now, and it all checked out. So that led me to joining the
Yeah.
sales circle.
Very good, very good. And yeah, and look, I suppose, like, obviously there's so many people probably watching this, and maybe they've seen the sales circle, they've seen what, like, maybe just tech sales in general, and they're thinking, like, I suppose from your side, like, when you did first hear about, breaking into tech sales, and maybe obviously seeing the sales circle in the path that was kind of laid out to you there, like, what was the maybe like skepticism and those questions that were cropping up in your mind, and like what kind of, I suppose, alleviated them for you?
Well, for me, it wasn't really, I wasn't awfully skeptical. It was more just that, like, how does someone that comes from, like, just come out of college get into that? Because, as good as college is, there's no tech sales training in a sales degree in college. So, I just knew I had to get one foot in the door or have something else on everyone around me, because I just didn't see how I wouldn't have the best results. I wouldn't be there getting top marks every exam. So if myself and someone else in my course or in the same course in Limerick or something applied for the same job, what would give me the edge in it? And that's what led me into the sales circle.
Yeah. And when you, I suppose, we're looking at, I suppose, your background, I know you said, mentioned you were doing marketing and sales kind of in college and stuff like that. But like, what was it particularly that, was attracting you to the sales route in general? Was it, do you feel it was something in your personality, was something in your background, or was it something that maybe you didn't expect you were actually even going to go down?
Well, when I came to college first and I picked my degree, it was marketing and sales, and I didn't really know a whole pile of what marketing was, but I knew sales was something that I would have an interest in. Yeah, I suppose the personality kind of matched with it, but yeah, it was in Galway as well at the time. That just suited me. So went into my degree, didn't really have any interest in it until probably the last year and a half or 2 years, maybe at a push. And then I came into final year and I sort of realized that, you really need to start making tracks on a career and a path and get something. I didn't want to finish college and go back working in a pub or working on a site or something. So I wanted something ready there the second that I finished college, that I could walk into and have a 9 to 5, have a Monday to Friday. And yeah, the tech sales just matched perfectly. I was very money motivated as well. And that obviously lines up very, very well because of the, I suppose, physically uncapped earnings. That was definitely a huge contributor. And as well, I always really liked working towards something.
Mm.
A lot of jobs, you graduate and they're good jobs. Like, you need to be really motivated to be a good teacher when you don't get, let's say, you don't really get rewarded for being a good teacher.
Mm.
But, tech sales is a very clear ladder there. There's a very clear pyramid and there's a lot of money. There's good money at the bottom, but, as you go up, it really does get very, very good. And that appealed to me, I suppose.
And I think, like, yeah, for a lot of people, especially, look, I was the exact same as you in terms of, I ended up was going to go like a kind of like a finance type route previously, and then when I did my internship, I was like, I want something to chase. I want something to go
Yeah,
after. And like one of the big appeals when I went into tech sales originally, and was exactly what you're saying there. It was just a continuous progression of like obviously you're kind of starting into your BDR role now, and it's like okay, now I'm looking straight up at like account executive. I'm looking up above that, and it's like there's that clear path of something always to chase and always to go after, which keeps things exciting as well.
and even in short term, you want to hit your certain dials every day. You have a monthly quota. You're always working towards something, and you can work past it even.
Yeah,
There's no relaxing. There's always reason to be going at it, and that
yeah.
just appeals to me because I didn't want to settle into something too much and kind of just go through the motions and go through the day. You want to be. I needed something to be working at all the time and
Yeah.
get rewarded for it too. So it literally appealed perfectly.
Yeah, and I think that's the funny thing, and some people might hear what you're saying there, and they might see it as scary that like you have something that you're kind of chasing, and you want to be working towards all
Yeah,
the time. But I think when you're wired that when you're wired that way, that you want to have something to be chasing. There is nothing worse than going into a job where it's literally just mundane. You have nothing to chase. You're just doing the same stuff every single day, and there's nothing really to push towards because and
yeah,
then it just becomes so frustrating.
yeah. I agree.
I suppose from your side of things, you came in and you were, one of the people that when you came into the sales circle, and I believe at the time you still had 3 months left in college.
Yeah.
What was your kind of thinking there that you were like, yeah, like I'm not even finished college here, but I'm taking the leap and I'm starting now.
Yeah, well, my thing was there was no time better than when I was on my qualification call with Evan. I was asking him. I was like, "Is this suited to me? Does it make sense to be doing it when because you can, some people go in it and they go ham and they're doing interviews after 2 weeks, but like that didn't suit me to be doing interviews after 2 weeks because I couldn't get a job for 3 months. So I said that to Evan, and Evan explained. He was like, "You're just going to be more prepared. You have more time to go through it. There's not an awful rush in you because." Obviously, you're working alongside college. You mightn't have as much time to do it, but you have a lot of time in the long run, and you have more time to be preparing for these things. You're seeing more people in within the channels being successful, getting jobs, getting offers. People saying, "Oh, I'm through to this round," and a lot of people were doing a couple of different interviews a week, and that surprised me a lot as well. I thought there was so much preparation in the interviews that I couldn't imagine having to do it all every day for a different company, a different product. That's just what works for different people, I
Yeah,
suppose.
and I suppose and walk me through, I suppose, from the time you came in, and yeah, obviously you took a small bit more of the elongated program, but obviously
Yeah.
that was the situation you're in. You needed a bit more time because obviously you had exams and everything like that. But I suppose you ended up obviously even getting the job before you even had your exams finished. But yeah, kind of walk me through the process of like what was the experience actually like for you? I suppose going through the training, going through obviously everything else that came with it, the live sessions, the coaching, etc.
Yeah, so not every week was the same for me when I joined because some weeks I was just busier than other weeks and I just, I couldn't consistently do, 4 or 5 hours every week. I could do 4 or 5 hours one week and then maybe do none the week after. And it was fine, there's a clear path there of where you start, where you finish, and then what to do when you finished it. And I was finished the coursework before I could apply for any interviews. So I was on to Jamie, my customer success manager, and he was like, what you should be doing now is you should be picking a list of 10 companies that you want to work for, do a bit of research, see where you think you'd be a fit for and just start nailing them already. Even like practicing interviews before you've applied for interviews. Yeah, didn't work out for me that way. Obviously I had my day in diligent with my college and I left thinking that that's just where I want to be straight away. And that evening I went home and I applied. I actually originally applied for an internship. After my screening, that round, she was just like, there's a BDR job there, so I'm just going to put you through for that. I don't know if I could have been through for both. The interview process was the same for both of them. So I think they kind of interview you and then, if you're not on the level for one, maybe they might drop you down to the next one. But one thing I'll say is the video, there was a video you had at the start that said, it's not the most experienced people get hired, it's the most prepared. And that was one thing that just stood out to me straight away. And that is one thing that I definitely was for those interviews. I was definitely the most prepared. A lot of that was, in fairness, David was something else. I had my screening on a Monday, I think, and I think the role play was on either Wednesday or Thursday, and it was so quick, I was kind of shocked by how quick it was. But in fairness to David, he hopped on, it was the evening before, I had it in the morning, and I hopped on with David the evening before, and I was a mess at the start. Absolutely terrible. And I was kind of like, oh, I'm over my head here. Like I'm not cut out for this, or maybe I need more time. But David really calmed me down, and he was just great. He was very good. Even my time, I was kind of conscious about the time because it's an hour call, and it was getting to like a 10 to or a quarter to whatever it was. And I think he could tell that I was kind of stressing about it, that I wasn't where I wanted to be. And David straight out just said, like, look, I'll stay on this call all night until you're ready to go at it tomorrow. That's not a problem. So don't be worrying about that. Myself and David pulled it together anyway and pulled it out of the bag. Thank God.
And I suppose, like, there's obviously, like, as you say in there, like, when you're looking at this and you're thinking, like, there's 40 people in my course, there's people down in Limerick, there's maybe people that were in Dublin, they're wanting to move back to Galway, there's 100, there's like, and I suppose the thing is, in Galway, like, it's not a massive tech hub. There's Diligent,
Yeah.
there's SmartBet, there's maybe one or two others there. Like, this is going to be so competitive to do this. And now you're in a position, obviously, you landed the job. Like you're saying there about Jamie, about, like, David and the coaches and things like that within the sales circle. Like, how much of a factor do you feel that just played into just having, just someone, like, it's so, like, people just in your corner with that bit of guidance whenever you needed it?
Yeah. I think a lot of it was confidence as well. I went into those interviews, small bit nervous, but very, very confident. I was going into that role play and I knew no one had done the work that I had done the night before, and that gave me a bit of confidence. And confidence, I think, played a long way in it as well.
Unreal. And I know I suppose, taught me about. I remember you texted me, obviously, when you had landed the job then, but, like, what was that feeling like for yourself when, you got the call that the literally one company that you wanted to get, that you'd literally gone, you'd done it, you'd landed the job, and now you were set up?
Yeah, it was relief, to be honest. A lot of it, as I said, I put a lot of work into those interviews, and they kind of came at a bad time. I think I started exams the week after, but relief, because final year exams then could settle down. That was a bit of a weight off my shoulder. I was very, very thankful I didn't have to go and do another interview process, because, as I said, it was a lot of work. Yeah, I was just delighted. I was really delighted.
Yeah, I'd say there's plenty of people that were very, very jealous of you. The fact that you were sitting back going into these exams with an absolute brilliant job offer waiting for you at the end of them.
I think even one of my lecturers was like, how did you manage that? Because I wasn't the worst, but I definitely wasn't the best student in my course anyway. I just had to explain that I've been doing something. I kind of kept it a bit quiet as well, that I was working away here in the background. But
as you were saying there, and as I was saying, it's not about the people with the the most experience or the most outstanding CV. It's not. It's nothing to do with that. It's about preparing and showing up on the day. So it is. And I suppose looking at where you're at now to when I looked back there, I think it was the nearly last couple of days of February when you joined us to land your job. I think it was just coming in there around the start of May, time there. To now, I know you literally started into the job there last week. So I was like, how was the first week in the job been like?
Yeah, it's great. It's very, very, very good. And the office is just, I remember when I texted you at the start, you were kind of asking what was I looking for? Like, was I looking for a remote? And I was like, no, I want to get into an office. I want to, feel the feeling of buying your quarter zips there and walking into the office. And I really wanted that. And that's exactly what I got. There's work from home Mondays and Fridays, but I think I'll just go in, to be honest. I really like being in the office. It's a good feeling. It's a lovely office as well. It looks brand new.
Like, one of the things as well, like, I know you were saying obviously about Matthew that had been through the sales circle previously, like a very good while ago, but like there's a good cohort of young people in there. There's a good, probably I can imagine there's definitely a good vibe in the office. And as I said, like, a lot of time with these BDO roles, it can be a small bit of extension of another year of college. Like, they're generally quite good crack as well.
Yeah, no, it is good crack in there. I know, like, the sales circle, Jamie was like, you need to find somewhere with a good company culture or whatever, but I definitely found that. Everyone is so nice. You sit down, eat your lunch, chat, whatever you talk about, and it's just good crack. Everyone's very, very, like, there's a sweepstake on. It's just it's just good crack, like, really, and you wouldn't dread going in at all. Get up and stroll in there, and it's great day. The day flies. And as well, I'm actually, my AE is in the office as well, so, like, I was shadowing her and another BDR, Matthew, today. So it's just, you get close to everyone and you meet everyone very, very quickly, and it's great, yeah.
Absolutely. And I suppose, looking forward now to, I suppose, what is to come in your tech sales career. I suppose looking back even a couple of months ago when you were kind of wondering, like, geez, am I going to be able to break into this now? Like, how are you feeling now about, I suppose, the career now looking forward ahead of you?
Yeah, optimistic, definitely optimistic. And when I was going through the coursework, I wrote notes of every single thing, every page, everything. I have a notebook about 400 pages big of everything I wrote down. But I think I'm confident as well that when you have bad months, or and it's something you mistag it, I know that I can reverse engineer, use the law of averages, all these things that you talk about, you can put them into real life there. And yeah, optimistic. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, obviously, and you'll say as much as anyone will say it, that obviously the thing that we put a big focus on it. It wasn't just the case that you came in and we say, and we're just like, oh, we're going to prep you to be really savvy in an interview process. Like, obviously, we prep you for the
Mm.
interview process, but the big thing, like you would have seen, obviously, the whole first, like all the first training is just all about actually training you to do the job. So like, it's great, obviously, landing the job, but we now want you to go in and actually be a top performer and be comfortable in
Yeah.
the role when you walk into it.
Yeah, definitely. Even like there's frameworks there, LinkedIn outreach is everything. And even, I was doing my little video on LinkedIn to the hiring manager, I really did follow the course step by step and it just worked, I suppose, worked perfectly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, look, if someone is watching on right now, and I'm sure there's literally, as you're saying, there's probably plenty of people looking at you when you were finishing exams. Like, Jesus Christ, how has this lad landed a job already? I haven't even started to think about jobs, but they've finished exams now, and they're just thinking about, they maybe have no idea of, like, if breaking into tech sales is actually even possible. It's so competitive. If someone was sitting in the exact position you were sitting in, yeah, I suppose what would you say to them?
Suppose you just have to do your own research, make sure that you're confident with it, that this is a real example. You can look at my LinkedIn, in the job that I got from the sales circle, you can see when I joined the sales circle, it's real, and just invest in yourself because the 6 months or the 3 months or the 2 months, whatever it is, it's going to pass anyway. So
Yeah.
you as well put yourself in a better position after it.
Man, that is the absolute truth, man. Time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well make the most use of it and put yourself in the best position at the end of it. So you will. Well, look, Dara, look, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I'm sure there's so many people that are finishing college that are going to resonate completely with all the stuff you're saying here. And look, absolutely, I have no doubt you're going to be coming in. You're going to be smashing it now in Diligent. You're going to be up to account executive, I'm sure, in absolutely no time, but on this amazing career path that you have now. And look, if anyone is watching this and you want to, I suppose, reach out to Dara, connect to him, I'll put his link to his LinkedIn down in the description below. Go and connect to him on there. But yeah, or if you're watching this and you're like, well, look, as Dara's lecturer was saying, I was wondering, how did you actually do this? And you're thinking, Jez, maybe I might like to give this a crack as well. Go to the link in our bio where you can book in a call. As Dara was saying earlier, we'll book in a call with one of our team and we'll go through a bit of an intake and understanding if this is the right fit for you. Because the thing is with us that we need to make sure as well that you're going to come in, we're going to do the work exactly like Dara did and follow it step by step, because we can't make it and we can't do absolutely everything for you. You have to be willing to come in and do the work, but you have every bit of support there, whether it's the training, whether it's obviously the coaching sessions like he was saying with Jamie and David, etc., as well as myself. And yeah, so if you're wanting to if you're wanting to go like Dara and break into tech sales now in the next, suppose, 30 to 60 days, go to the link in my bio. We'll book in for a chat. And yeah, until next time, guys, we'll chat soon. Have a good one.